Hello, BKFK listeners! Coming up in this episode of By Kids for Kids Storytime, Wizzlethorp announces an interesting discovery.
I found an old book about building flying machines. Ooh! It's fascinating, but unfortunately, half of the book is damaged.
The Snaggletonians decide to have a competition.
Each creature would have a week to build their flying machine, and everyone would gather at the edge of the Calamity Canyons to showcase their creations.
But the results are a disaster.
And the machine whooshed around in every direction before smashing into a nearby tree.
Until someone has a good idea.
Perhaps not,
came a cheeky little voice from behind.
Can you guess who? Keep listening to find out. But first, let's hear who the superstars are on this episode.
My name is Zoe. I'm 6 years old. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I like listening to By Kids for Kids, and I love playing with my little brother.
My name is Eli. I'm from Colorado. I'm 9 years old, and I like dinosaurs.
Hi, my name is Jane. I live in Washington, D.C. I'm 9 years old, and I love puppies, and my dog Franklin. And I love Taylor Swift.
My name is Louie. I'm from Washington, D.C. I like baseball and other sports. I'm 11 years old.
Well done, kids. You are splendiferous. Okay, Ruby, let's get on with the story.
The Dragon Wagon. The Glugging Gargoyle Tavern was filled with the usual crowd, each enjoying their favorite drink and chatting merrily. Gerta Grimswell, the strong hobgoblin bartender, was polishing glasses, while her kitty corn, Gem, Jewel, Shimmershine, Glimmer, Shimmer, Violet, Rose, Petalflower, or just Shimmershine, sat on her shoulder, purring contentedly. Wizzlethorp the wizard stood on a table in the center of the tavern, his hat's propeller spinning with excitement.
Everyone, gather around.
He called out. The creatures in the tavern, including Stankenfrine, Grumblegut the ogre, Troller the troll, and Snotbeard the giant, all turned their attention to Wizzlethorp.
I've recently discovered something rather interesting.
What is it?
Asked the crowd.
I found an old book about building flying machines. Ooh! It's fascinating, but unfortunately, half of the book is damaged. So I am no wiser than before, and I have no idea how to go about creating such a wonderful machine. Then I thought, why not have a competition to see who can build the best flying machine?
The room erupted in excitement. Once they settled down, they exchanged knowing looks. They each had their own ideas, but they kept them to themselves for now. And so the competition was set. Each creature would have a week to build their flying machine, and everyone would gather at the edge of the Calamity Canyons to showcase their creations. As the week passed, Snaggleton became a bustling workshop. From morning to night, the creatures went busily about their work, hammering, sawing, drilling, and tinkering. Stanky was surrounded by a swarm of bugs and spiders that he had collected to power his machine. Snickerfang and Jinx were deep in their burrow, creating a contraption out of bones and feathers. Meanwhile, Sir Chucklenugget had stripped off his armor and was pounding away at hot metal at the castle furnace. In another corner of the village, Grumblegut, Troller, and Snotbeard were putting their heads together. Grumblegut's belly occasionally let out a slap, while Troller sneezed a slimy mess for their creation. Snotbeard was busy breaking boulders into smaller pieces for whatever it was they were designing. By the end of the week, everyone set off for the Calamity Canyons to to present their flying machines. The air was filled with anticipation as the creatures lined up.
Well, well, well.
Shouted Wizzlethorp once they had all arrived.
I see you've all been busy. Let's find out who has made the cleverest flying machine. We'll begin with Stanky.
Everybody clapped politely as Stanky stepped forward to demonstrate his bug-powered contraption. It looked like a large bug-covered glider with many legs.
Ready for takeoff.
Stanky announced. He hopped in. The bug started furiously buzzing. The machine lurched forward, shuddered for a moment, and then tumbled into the canyon. Stanky climbed back up, covered in dust.
Well, it's still a work in progress.
He said with a shrug.
Oh well, better luck next time, Stanky.
Said Wizzlethorp.
Next, Sninkafan and Jenks.
The goblin's machine was a jumble of bones, feathers, and shells.
Prepare for a flumbumptious flight.
Snickerfang declared. He and Jinx climbed aboard.
Full speed ahead!
Shouted Snickerfang while Jinx began to spin a bone handle faster and faster. The machine began to lift into the sky and then suddenly exploded in every direction. The little goblins poked their heads out of the pile of bones.
Almost,
said Wizzlethorp.
Now let's see what Sir Chacklenagget has come up with.
The knight's flying machine was a giant, shiny metal machine with a tin rooster feather on top. He hopped in and gave a dramatic wave. He began to pedal with his powerful legs. The machine's wings began to flap faster and faster. But then they became a tangle and the machine whooshed around in every direction before smashing into a nearby tree. Wizzlethorp pulled poor Chucklenugget out of the remaining pile of junk and said,
Well, we have one machine left, made by the terrible trio.
Grumblegut, Troller, and Snotbeard's machine looked like a huge stone dragonfly. It was enormous. The giant, troll, and ogre lifted the machine above their heads and began running toward the end of the canyon. They started jumping with each step, higher and higher, and smash! The entire machine fell to pieces, covering the creatures with pebbles and dust. As everyone looked around at the failed flying machines, they began to feel a little disheartened. It seemed that none of their creations were quite ready for a flight.
Oh no,
said Wizzlethorp with a disappointed shrug.
I suppose it was too much to expect.
Perhaps not,
came a cheeky little voice from behind. Sparky Flockbottom stepped forward. Her eyes were bright with excitement.
Building contraptions is a complicated business. There are so many things to think about and understand. It would truly be amazing if one of us could manage this task, but I fear it is highly unlikely.
The creatures sighed loudly.
However, if we combined our skills and work together, I think we stand a very good chance.
The others looked at her in surprise.
You really think that could work?
Asked Snickerfang.
Absolutely! Come guys, gather round!
So, everyone gathered around a large table in the village square. Sparky pulled out a piece of paper and began sketching. Soon enough, they all got to work, each contributing their unique talents. Stanky collected bugs and spiders, which were used as part of the machine's energy source. Snickerfang and Jinx gathered pile after pile of branches and bones. Sir Chucklenugget hammered away at the castle forge. Troller used her slime for the machine's wheels, while Grumblegut and Snotbeard cut tree trunks into boards that Sparky and Stanky nailed together. After several days of hard teamwork, the flying machine was finally complete.
Well done, team.
Said Sparky.
And now for the test flight of the Dragon Wagon.
The Dragon Wagon?
Said Wizzlethorp.
I get the wagon part. After all, it looks just like a normal wagon, but without the horse. But I don't really get the dragon part.
Aha!
Said Sparky.
Just press this button over here.
She said, pointing to a glowing gem. Wizzlethorp pushed the button and the wagon began to change. It was as if it was unfolding into a huge contraption. 2 huge wings spread out on each side while a long tail unrolled behind it. The wheels made a clacking sound as they became mechanical legs, while the front transformed into a huge wooden dragon's head.
A dragon!
Everyone exclaimed.
A dragon wagon.
Said Sparky.
Now, we have 12 seats in the middle, each with their own set of pedals. Climb on board, everyone. Let's take it for a test flight.
The creatures climbed into the dragon wagon. Then, on Sparky's command, they began to pedal. The wings started flapping faster and faster, and the mechanical legs began to run forward, until at last the dragon wagon soared into the air. They had done it! They flew over the village, past the forest, and high above the magical land of Majora.
Well done, little friend.
Shouted Wizzlethorp over the wind.
Anything is possible, Wiz.
Laughed Sparky.
With a little teamwork and a lot of imagination.
Quiz time! Question 1. Wizzlethorp the wizard found a book. What was it about? A. Spells for making ice cream. B. How to build flying machines. C. Recipes for making cookies. Or D. Treasure maps. And the answer is B. How to build flying machines. Question 2. Who used bugs and spiders to power their flying machine? A. Stanky. B. Grumblegut. C. Sir Chucklenugget. Or D. Snickerfang. And the answer is A. Stanky. Question 3. What happened when Snickerfang and Jinx tried to fly their machine? A. It flew to the moon. B. It exploded into pieces. C. It turned into a bird. Or D. It floated like a balloon. And the answer is B. It exploded into pieces. Question 4. Who suggested working together to build one big flying machine? A. Wizzlethorp the wizard. B. Grumblegut. C. Sparky Flockbottom. Or D. Troller. And the answer is C. Sparky Flockbottom. Question 5. What did the group name their flying machine? A. The Dragon Flyer. B. The Sky Wagon. C. The Dragon Wagon. Or D. The Flying Carriage. And the answer is C. The Dragon Wagon. Hey guys, if you like this episode, please share it with your friends and family. It is one of the best ways to support BKFK Storytime.